All right. So last week we started work on some data, and the truth about it is time was not enough for us to complete what we started. And so here we are with the uncompleted jobs, but I'm going to show it to us now so that show my screen. Oh, show my screen. I think this is going to be the data. Can you all see my screen, please? All right. Good luck said yes. So I'm also trying to see if I can devise another mechanism for us to have a more interactive class. But let me see if that's going to work. If I share and say share, stop present something else. Windows. Okay. I don't think that's going to work. Let me just continue with this method. So here was, we started the analysis by creating some DAX measures last week, which I explained to be data analytics and expressions. And those data analytics or expressions were just some small formulas we use to arrive at some measures which we think will be needed in this data. So last week, let me just have a quick recap. We created this table, or we claimed this table rather. The table comprised of customers, products, and sales. If you can remember, locations, which is a column inside customers table, had some issues. We fixed it. And after fixing it, we made sure that this previous location was kept, but hidden from the visuals. Another thing we did was look into the products and ensure that they were all fixed. We fixed the unit price. We ensured that everything was in order. Also inside the sales, which I called the fact sheet, we ensured that the sale date was fixed. We changed the data type. We also ensured that the amount and unit price was standardized to be currencies. And also, we created a date table. So all these things can be seen in the model view, where we ensured that our table are linked. And this is what we called relationships. We went further by creating these measures. Just like a quick recap says, this sign of calculator beside average sales, total quantity, total sales, and transactions were the measures, manual measures we created through the DAX formula, such that if I click on this now, you can still see the formula that we created. If I click on this total quantity, you can see the formula that we created. If I click on total sales, you can see the formula that we created was just the sum of sales total amount. That was referencing to the sum of the total amount here inside the sales table, the sales column. That is what this means. And also we calculated the number of transactions, which I can remember Christiana gave us a clue that the number of transactions will be when we count the sales number of transactions based on the sales date, or number of transactions in the row, so which was 100. So when we went further to check the analysis on the visuals, we were able to bring this out. The number of transactions after dragging this to the table using the card visuals led to this. But today, before we continue on visualizations, I would like to expatiate what visualization is exactly, because there is no way we would continue with this data. This data is so minute, so small. To me, it's even infinitesimal, that if we continue with this data to visualize, we would not cover everything about visualization. We will only have to touch what we need, which would not give you a broad understanding of visualizations. And that is why I just want to spread the information across visualizations altogether, so that you understand and have a good glimpse of what visualization is. So I'll be presenting from the PowerPoint I quickly drafted this morning. Let me just see if I can get that up. Let me put it on read view. Present something else. PowerPoint. Good. Now, here is it. Data visualization in Power BI is the title. Just 13 slides. And I'm going to explain what everything I meant here. So the learning objectives will be introduction to data visualization, and we'll be discussing the visuals and the elements in that visualization environment. So what is data visualization? Data visualization helps you turn all that granular data into easily understood, visually compelling, and useful business information. What do I mean here? It means whatever we have been doing with data. For instance, Dangote gave you an assignment as their business intelligence analyst or as their data analyst. They do not need all those figures you have in your table view. They don't need all those things in your columns and rows. All they need is an executive overview. How is our business in Lagos doing? How is our business in London doing? What is happening in Manchester? So you knowing the number of times a customer came, you knowing the number of transactions that happen in a day is not his business. He only needs an executive overview, maybe on a yearly basis or on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. The granular data, for him to understand it, you have to put them all together to give him a picture such that he would not feel it's ambiguous. That is the aim of everything. So the truth is that you are the only one who knows what you have gone through the process of data cleansing, data transformation, using the methods of data profiling, column quality, the table statistics, joining and merging tables together, ensuring that you replace values, and also on. It is actually a very good measure for you to have taken into consideration during your data transformation, but it is not his business. So that is why visualization is very, very important. Visualization is what concerns the stakeholders. So being able to see the story within the numbers makes data visualization a very powerful tool. At this point, that is what you will be sharing and communicating to your colleagues. Even if it's not Dangote himself, let me just use him for example. If it's his admin officer, or let's say the HR department wants to see what is happening with their staff, they want to share with the HR department, it's the visualized data that you share to them. I'm sorry, let me just admit someone in. So just like I've said, what you are sharing, it's something that they should be able to look at a glance and take decisions. And that is why we call business intelligence or data analytics as gathering data so that shareholders or stakeholders would be able to take actionable insights about their business. So they depend on your data. And what is your data that they're depending on? Is the visuals. So moving forward, visuals are charts and graphics that allows you as a data analyst to share your insights more effectively, just like I said earlier. So in selecting these visuals to solve a particular problem, you need to learn how to use them and choose the right visuals from whatever the Power BI has been made available. Yes, on an advanced level, let's say we consider ourselves to be a bit above average when it comes to, or a bit above intermediate in Power BI environment, or let's just say the experts, they might go out of their way not to use most of the default visuals that Power BI has given. Some even subscribe to some environment where they download custom visuals. Yes, but on the learning level, at a basic level, just know that everything you need is available in the environment. You only need to know the right visuals to use. But for the cosmetic purpose, you might want to step higher to start using, I want to use a play visual. I want my visual to be showing a car. I want my visual to be showing a lorry. All those things are just at the expert level. But the basic thing is, first of all, ensure that whatever you are even projecting to them are correct data. And that is why you should know your data transformation very well. It's just like foundation. Like something that they used to say that if the foundation be destroyed, any other thing that you are building on it would not make sense. So if your data is not correct and you are doing visualization, you might be visualizing a beautiful nonsense. Just like my boss usually say. So some people, let me just say, if you work with bosses that have really understood that some people are only good at visuals, that they are not good at data. They will tell you that, bring the Excel sheet. That is what I really want to see. They want to see what exactly is happening. But the truth is that the stakeholders really should be able to depend on your visuals without asking to see the raw data. So when you make yourself so proficient that in as much as you are good at data transformation, data modeling, it might take some level of, let's say, graphical proficiency to be able to make a perfect visual, because anything visuals is about like design, it's about like using color rightfully, and not everybody has these graphical senses of of making things look so attractive, of making look so appealing. But the truth is, you must learn it to some extent. Once you are doing Power BI, you should be able to, at least, it's just like knowing how to, you know how to remove rice, you know how to separate rice from stones. That is transformation. Cleaning data, you know how to transfer to make data, you know how to match them, you know how to do data modeling. Let's say you know how to do ingredients is like putting the data modeling and all those things. But when it comes to visuals, it's like you are serving the food in the plate. So if the food is even sweet and you are not serving it well, or you are serving it in a dirty plate or non-appealing plate, and let's say you are giving it to a visitor, the visitor will not see it appealing, no matter whatever you have added in the beginning or whatever you have done to ensure that this turn out well. So that is why visualization is very, very important. So, and that is why those two things, learning to choose the right visuals and formatting your visuals to tell the story well. What do I mean by formatting visuals? Formatting visual might entail you turning on the data labels, ensuring that a visual is speaking the right language without you having to speak. The visual can speak for itself. It's able to tell a story. It's able to say what happened. That is using your formatting very well. All right. So I'm going to introduce us to the common visuals in Power BI. We have the bar and column chart. We use it a lot. People use it a lot. And right from, let me say, a primary level of education, everybody has been familiarized with bar chart, and it's never run out of age. No matter how the technology has improved in the past few decades, bar chart still remains, because it tells a clear story, especially when you are making a comparison between entities. It provides the information, it tells about the specific value among categories. That is it. So we have the bar chart, might be the vertical one or the horizontal one, which they call either the column chart or the whatever, but it's just bars. And what are the bars? These things standing independently. I remember that time when we were in the secondary school, they used to call another one histogram. That histogram would be leaning on one another and be leaning on one another. But the truth is that it is just a product of bar chart. And these are the bars. Recognize the bars. Know that the bars are speaking for you. The shorter bar means the shorter value. The taller bar denotes the taller value or the highest value. As simple as that. And something like this, an executive would be able to see that at a glance without having to call you that, oh, Mr. Goodluck, come and tell me what you mean that happened in EMEA. He doesn't have to call you, he already saw it. That is the truth. So when a visual is able to speak for itself, it's a good visual. Another thing we look into in common visuals in Power BI, we have the line and area charts, which are usually useful in discussing trends over time. On the expert level, those of us that used to do forecast, we depend mainly on these line chart visuals. The line chart, you can even use it, format it on the advanced level to tell you a forecast of what will happen in the future, looking at the trends over time. So that is why you should know what to use. So you cannot be using line charts to do a comparison of the amount sold by categories. Line chart is only useful or usually useful for matters of time. When you are doing a time-based analysis, you know that, oh, you should select a time chart. So that is why, or you should select a line chart rather. That is why at every point of data analysis, I will always mention that critical thinking skill is important, because these things nobody will actually tell you. It is not really actually written on walls that, oh, compulsorily this should tell you this. You have to tell yourself, what will Mr. Dangote appreciate? What will Bill Gates appreciate? You as their business intelligence analyst, how will they be able to understand this data better? They need a line chart to discuss the trend. So it's just a function of critical thinking skills. Another thing we're looking at is the cards. Just like last week, when we were trying to analyze all those sales we have made based on whatever the values, anything values, or like a single fact, we put them in cards so that at a glance, how much have we sold? How many units have we sold? What is the average order value? What is the total sales? How many customers do we have? All those stuff can be in cards. And the truth is that most times All these single number things, they are the most important thing that the stakeholder wants to see. In fact, usually is one of the most important things on your report. They want to see the figures, and the way you put the figures to them matters. You can't go and put the figures in a table that they would just be struggling to find out what it is. So that is why visualization is very, very, very key. All right. So moving from cards, every one of them, they have their uses. Look at this kind of visual, the pie chart. It's also an age-long kind of chart that we have always known about, the pie chart. We have it in two categories. They are both round. The other one is pie, having these slices that are all close together. And the other one is the donut chart. The donut chart is also slices, but having a ring in between. So all these are just based on design. But the truth is, it's good when you want to tell about the parts that a category is contributing to a whole system, especially when the categories are not many. They are best suited for matters like percentages. Something is 100%. You know that when a full circle is a representation of 100%, what is your share in this 100% matter? Now let's put it in percentage. There are just three of us. You take 24.99. You take 44.33. You take 30.68. So he's telling them the fact about their share in a whole matter on a percentage basis. You can still do this. This particular visual can still come on a bar chart, but it's well or better represented in a pie chart based on your critical thinking skills. All right, to move on, there are categories or situations where we need to put the tables. That's the truth. The table contains data in a sense of rows and columns, just like we had it when we were doing our transformation, or just like we have it in Excel. It has headers, it has rows. But usually, when we think we need to use tables, it is when we are talking of something that in a situation where there are more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we need to make an exact representation when they have more than one values to talk about. For instance, we want to talk about a category that says services. The category has a channel, it has units, it has amount, it has region, it has order ID. And the truth is that it might not be useful to the main executive, but it might be useful to your next line manager, who is also reporting to an executive. That person would need something like this, because no matter how granular it is, they need the details. That is why we have it here. All right, moving forward, this we all know that maps are for location matters. So we use maps to associate both categorical, quantitative information with spatial locations. And when we use maps for region, we should ensure that they are visible on the large global scale. Because when we have a map that is showing, like for instance, this is a United States map. It has many states of United States, and you are pointing to something that happened in Alabama or Georgia. You should be making it visible such that they can see the magnanimity or the size of that particular, of their impact on that map. So you should be using your formatting methods to show it visibly what is happening based on that location. If you are trying to shade it very well. If you are trying to give it a bubble, let the bubble be visible. Let the color stand out. Not that the color will be flushing with the color of the sea. Usually maps have sea, maps have lines, maps have demarcation, that is demarcating a state from the other. Don't let your bubbles or your shades be the color of the demarcation or the sea. So all those things are stuff we should put in consideration when it comes to visualizing with all these type of visuals and their elements. Another thing that I so much love is the slicer. The slicer is a standalone chart that is used to filter the other visuals on that page. The slicer provides a customized way of filtering, and it makes it in a way that other visuals, they respond immediately when the slicer is in action. The slicer is like you are pointing to a particular field, and the other visuals would tell you from their own standpoint what happened at that particular time. Usually the slicer is used for time matters. It's used for date matters. It's also used for matters like categories or region when there are not many. If you want to see what is happening per category, it happens. But the truth is that it's actually sweet. It tells you what is happening based on that time that you have selected. So I would take us through all those process of formatting the slicer visuals too, so that we know that all these stuff are actually useful. So looking at the elements, these are the text box, where you write the text to put an header to your visuals, and the shapes, and also images. Yes, images might be useful. For instance, you are working for a Microsoft company and you just want to do a visualization for them. You can't just present them a visual that looks ordinary. You have to include their logo, at least embed their logo somewhere in the visuals so that they personalize it for that company and so that they can be aware this is actually for us. This is actually meant for our organization. So all those things are just part of critical thinking. You know that this thing, though I said it's related to a bit more of graphics that you just have to do, but the truth is once you keep doing it over and over, you get used to it. It's not rocket science. You get used to it. And the truth is that you can always familiarize yourself with so many visuals that are available over the data environment. You go to Kaggle, people put visuals there. So you can get concept from there, and nobody will criticize you for stealing their concept, because the truth is that if you steal their concept, you are not stealing their data. It's your data. You are just trying to reformat it your own way. And there is no way two data analysts would work even on the same data. Their jobs cannot be the same. Because it's a critical thinking skill matter. Your brain is not similar to another person's brain. So the way the person talks about solving a particular problem might be different from yours. So when it comes to visuals, you might steal their concept, but you might change their color. And the truth is, it's only for the beginning. By the time you start using Power BI for a length of time or a very long time, you discover that you even have your own method of visualizing your data. You get used to your own ways of doing things. For instance, if I will visualize data my own way, I don't just start drawing visuals. I might have to draft it first in PowerPoint and get my layout right, then import it into Power BI, and then get it resolved. So it happens that way. I'm going to put us through all those methods such that visualization will become easy. Because when you have visualizations easy, you would not have problems with getting your data understood by the executives. I think that is the end of that visualization thing. And just to cap it up, all you just have to do is keep it simple and easy to understand. Don't make it so ambiguous such that you start making your data, your visual so messy. No, you might just put some little graphics in a way that you can convey the right message. Ensure you use the right type of chart and graph to convey your message. That's just a recap of what I said. Use color and contrast effectively. And regarding this color and contrast, some people might not have, it's not an abuse, but the truth is that some people, not every one of us have color sense. Even when some people wear clothes, you will see that they will say this is color riot. So it's not that they are not good at color, it is just who they are. So in situations like this, you might just need to give yourself a guide. And how do we give ourselves a guide? There are so many opportunities out there or platforms out there that leverage on people's inabilities and help them to shape their intentions. For instance, color hunt. If you go online to color hunt will give you the right color combination. Let me see if I can quickly show you what I mean. And color hunt is a website. You can embed it to your Chrome. You can even download their app, and you will see color combinations, varieties of them. If you have a color in mind, they will tell you combine it with this and this, and it will come out well. All right, let me just have a quick show of what I mean by color hunt. Let me just quickly show it to you. Present something else. Window. Okay. So you should be seeing my browser right now. Color hunt. Okay. So here is color hunt on Google search. You come here. You can see that it's not difficult to use. In fact, you don't even need to sign in or log in. You just only have to add it to your Chrome. I use it. I have it already. You can see. So if you have color hunt, for instance, I want to use something like orange. I don't just use the orange and pop it and everywhere looks messy. You combine it with this, you know when to use it. If you are using a gradient, you know where to apply these colors such that it looks beautiful. There are varieties of many, many colors on color hunt where you can combine. People have visited it. You can see last month now, or like 1 month ago, this 2,114 people even said they love this. So you are not the only person that is taking that advantage. And not everybody here now is using it for Power BI. Some people are using it for something else. Some people are graphic designers, some people are tailors, some people are artists, some people are painters. So you are only a data analyst. So a lot of people leverage on this environment and make their jobs beautiful. If you have not heard about it before, now you have heard about it. So you can use color hunt to make your visualizations perfect. So to complete my presentation on visualization, does anybody have any questions before we continue the previous previous visualizations we started? Okay, so just one of those things I added there is that avoid pie charts where possible. Usually pie charts, usually, at times it might make your visuals look a bit childish or not professional enough, but in some cases, it might be important. And data labels are important, even more than grid lines. You understand what I mean by data labels as we continue. And use appropriate titles for each chart. Give your chart a title so that they can understand. Is okay. In some cases, this white background is the safest, usually, so that everything does not look immature. And that is all it is. Use color and contrast effectively, just like I mentioned, using color count. Okay, so we'll be moving on to the Power BI environment again, just as we are meant to continue with it. Power BI environment, we are going back there and to continue. Yes, so last week we started this. We created these guys, the DAX. Another thing I might introduce to you in this is once it's not compulsory, but we might determine, well, we might decide to make our DAX or whatever formulas we have used to be in a separate folder. And how do we do that? In model view, I can bring these guys that I created myself, transactions. When you click on control on your keyboard and you click on this average sales, we made this. All these guys are not on column and rows, they are all measures. So we can add a folder or put them in a folder. So when you inside the model, you create a folder, you open properties for them, and you create the display folder, give it my DAX measures. Okay, so when you put them in a folder, they fall inside this place, so that anytime you are looking for the calculation you have made, you can always find them here. It's not compulsory, it is just a method I've inculcated over the time past. Whenever I'm working at my office, I'll just find all my calculations handy, and I just go to that folder and pick them up. Okay, so to continue the visualizations today. So we started this last week, and this and this and this, and I want us to visualize this to contain some important information. We can decide to put this here and put this here and put this here. Okay. You can decide to reduce the size of all those letters, and that is what we call formatting. I would like to reduce the size of this guy to what should contain only what we have here. The best thing we should have done is when we created one of them, we just clicked Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So we have the same size all through. You can see if you use Ctrl V, you have the same size all through. So you can just paste all this in it. So you don't have to start adjusting all this to be this size. So there are many ways to get this done, because this is average sales now. So if you delete this and go to this and change it to average sales, check this off, put this. This is it. We have it here. So to make it retain as this size, we only come to formatting, come to call out value, and reduce the size. It's still not what okay. So by the time we keep reducing it, we can see that it has so many decimals after so many figures after the decimal. And how do we get that corrected? If you want to leave it at just 2 decimal places, so we can just come to here, and we have it here as average sales. We click on it to come to here, and this is where we determine the number of. So we leave it at 0. It stays as average sales, £343. If you increase it to 1, it's 343.2 pounds. So that's like giving us the nearest decimal place. So when we want it at 2 decimal place, and we increase it again here, so that is where we are formatted that correctly, and it's the same size as this. So we can do the same thing for here. This one is how many for the font value we have 31. We can change this to also to make it faster, 31. Let's see how it comes out to be. No, so we are taking this off and using this because this is the exact size as these guys. So total sales, we're taking you off, come here, and let's take total sales. Good. So now let's go back to the formatting visual, call out values, and 31. Good. Now we have the same size as this, and we are putting it here. So they are all the same size. 100 transactions, the average sales, the total sales. Now for total quantity, we also want this guy's size. So we change this to total quantity. Total quantity. Okay, so we might decide this is having the same call out value as this. So we bring this here, If there's any other value we think we need, we can still add them. And these are cards. All right, to make it equal, we might decide to also make these guys 31 and 31. So there is no specific way to running matters like this. It is just based on your critical thinking skills. Okay, so other values we can look into. This is the visual environment. I forgot to mention that. So I believe we should have Power BI desktop on our environment, and we should be able to see these guys and practicalize exactly what we are talking about. This is bar chart, the stacked bar chart. This is the stacked column chart. Here is the clustered bar chart. We have the cluster column chart. These guys in the upper row, they are usual. There is no how you will have a visual that we will not attempt to use one or two of them. And here we have the line chart group. This is a line chart, the area chart, all used for time-based analysis. The stacked area chart, the stacked area chart 100%. This one is not going to the meaning of this bar on it is that it doesn't, nothing exceeds beyond this, nothing goes down beyond this. You only see the values in between this and this. And the same thing happens to here, line and stacked column chart. And on the advanced level, you might just start to use these ones, but all are good for time-based analysis. This one is a ribbon chart, also good for comparing categories and columns. And all these guys, waterfall, funnel, pie chart group, the donut, the tree map, the maps, and others. This is the card which I used for these guys. And we have the slicer. The slicer comes in so many various forms. If I click on the slicer now, it brings this guy here. And we can decide to what are we doing on the slicer? Look for something based on time. Look at, for instance, sale date. These are the time-based analysis based on year, based on the date hierarchy. So if I put month here, look at what will happen. It has shown all the months that things have happened. Now, look at when I click on January, this tells us the sales that happened in January. So we have 5 transactions in January. Average sales in January was £296, 42p. Total quantity in January was £19. Total sales in January of 5,063 pence pounds. So the slicer is so good to pinpoint what happened on a granular analysis. Tells you based on the time you have clicked. In February, if you click on February, immediately it switches. And if you want to reset the whole thing, just click on it again. It goes back to the total information without slicers. And the good thing about this, you can reformat this slicer to how you want it. Okay, if I go to the format, this is when you want to format your visual, you come here in the middle. The slicer has a setting. I can decide not to use the vertical list. I can use a tile. So the tile will give me a bigger overview where you can, transactions happen between January and December, right? If there is no transaction in December, because I don't think this data has transaction in December, if you click on it, oh, there is transaction in December, we still have this for us. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So if you are in a board meeting and you are the business intelligence manager, this can bail you out. Oh, Mr. Lucky, what happened in April? How much did you sell? You don't have to go back to the table. All you just have to do is based on the information you have modeled in, because if your modeling is not actually in good shape, all these visualizations will not be responding well. That's the truth. All these visualizations will not respond well. Or if you have not done your data transformation well, your visualization would not make sense. So if you have the confidence in what you have done in your data cleansing and modeling, by the time they ask you questions, you won't fear. You won't fear. Another way to create visuals, although on an expert level, which I think I should still introduce to you, is using Q&A. So when you use Q&A, when I did not, I need to let you know what I pressed. So let me delete it. When you click on Control and /, it brings Q&A. Please give me a moment. I need to quickly attend to something. I just have like 2 minutes break and check what is happening at my end downstairs. Oh, somebody asked a question. I'm just saying it. Sorry. It's control plus forward slash. Control plus control slash control forward slash like this. So when you press it, right? Let me pin it to the. All right. So control forward slash would open the Q&A. And what does it happen when you said Q&A? If I want to check total sales, total sales, total sales. Let me see if it's going to bring it. So just total sales. Okay. Month. Bar chart. You can see when I click on this, let me expand this guys for you. When I click on this, it's going to generate something out for me. So you can see the result. So without having to bring out bar chart first, you know, the way I should have done this is okay, I click on bar chart, it brings this, and I start to look for total sales and click on it, and I said month, and I click on it. You can see, but instead of doing that, I just used the Q&A. The Q&A would give me a suggestion of whatever I'm thinking. The Q&A is an AI that is embedded in Power BI to assist you in your visualization. So that is just another tactics in Power BI visualization. So when you use the Q&A, the Q&A can just be of good use. So I control forward slash and I just ask for I want to check their sales over the month. I'll check their transactions over the month. Transactions. Okay, when you just click on it, transactions month. Oh, transactions by product. Now enter. That's given me this. If I click on this, it brings it out. These are the transactions by product. So by this, you are able to get an intelligent overview of your data. So it's either you use your Q&A or you start clicking them or dropping them here. And another thing is understanding how to format your chart. Okay, this data here tells us the transactions that happened by product name. For instance, let me start from here. This transaction by month, total sales by month. Here is it. The y-axis contains the sales date. The x-axis contains the total sales. So here are the total sales if I expand it and the month when they were sold. But it's not telling us exactly how much was sold in January. And that is what I'm talking about in understanding data labels. So we can just go to this place and turn on data labels on. Now we can see how much was sold in January, February, March. So formatting a visual is just important because by default, all this will not come with it. By default, all will not come with it. You just have to format your visuals to make it suitable for your executives to understand. Okay, let's continue the formatting on this to make it at least understandable. We want these guys not to be blurry, but to be bold and bigger. How do we get that done? You can just come to the y-axis and the values. You make it a bit darker. Just look at it. It has changed. And if you want it bolder, it will still change. And you want to increase the size, it has changed. And you click on it. Okay. You can change the title or whatever the total sales per month, whatever is written on it can be changed here. You come to general total sales by month. So you can remove the underscore. Let's say you want to make it a bit professional for the executives. Total sales by month. And you make it a header. You might even change the color. It's your own based on the requirement of your organization. I've increased the size. And on the more cosmetic level, you might want to give it some shades. Come to effect. If you turn off the background or give it a visual border, give it a shadow. The visual border, you might give it some rounded corners. It's still based on your discretion. If you click out, it looks different and beautiful. The black visual border might not even fit it. So I decided to take it off. Visual border off, but let's leave the shadow. It's looking nice. Now let's look at it at a glance. That is visualization. The common visualization. We have been able to get this result in our own way. But the truth is that the entire view matters. This is just one tile out of the whole dashboard. So this is just another tile out of the whole dashboard, which does not make up. We cannot submit the data like this, but I'm just giving you the glimpse we need to know when it comes to the visualization. Another part of visualization that is important is giving our visuals a heading. Let's say the title of this thing is sales analysis. Sales analysis for company X, or let's just say sales analysis. How do we get that that table header there? What we just have to do is you go to insert and go to shapes. Some people will use text box. When you click on text box, you just type it here. But me, I prefer to use shapes, because the shapes will, first of all, I like cosmetics. So when I put my shapes here, I might decide to use a rounded tab both top and just click on it. It gives me something here, and you're able to put it here. I want to give it a title. How? Come to style, text, turn it on, then give it a name, sales analysis. That's all. Here we give it, maybe you make it bold, you increase the size here to like let's say 30. Let's see how it looks like. It's looking a bit, it's giving it a shape. All right, stay at 36. Good. Sales analysis. Click out, it stands there. All right, so let's look at something else we can analyze in this data. Let's look at their products. Let's look at the products, the categories sold. Drop the category here. So there are so many ways you can visualize. I'm dropping it this time. And I'm just checking the category sold by total sales. Here is it in a table. So you can just decide to, you might not want to leave this in a table. Make it a bar chart. These are the categories of what was sold. And you make it a bar chart. The bar chart can be further designed to be like this guy. But this guy is taking too much space. You might just give it this way, or we might turn it to a chart that is clustered column. Let's change this to clustered column. Oh, sorry, I did that for the other one. Should be for this. I'm going to change this to clustered column, and we have something like this. Good. Total sales by month. So here we have this. We'll be transferring these guys up, and we'll have this guy here. So it's that easy. Before we continue, does anybody have any suggestion or question? Because it's becoming a bit complex, right? Is it becoming a bit complex? Let somebody talk to me, please. If it's not complex, then should I continue? Are you on the call?
I'm following.
Someone said a bit. Okay, I will find another way to explain better, but it's actually interesting. Just like we talked about pie charts the other time, in a case where we have just a category like this, we want to check their category by, let's say, quantity. When you drop the quantity, you might decide to now use pie chart. We have it here. Very simple. To me, it's interesting. Someone said they got lost. So sorry about that. It's a network. So we have the category, but we're avoiding pie chart because we want to have a more mature view of visuals. So here is it. I'm just telling us what those visuals are capable of. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 visuals here already. Let's put something more and just look at the transactions per customers. Let's look at who is their best customers. You can put it here. Okay, the customer name. Where is the customer? Customer information is here. Customer name and the transactions they have made. So remember, they have 100 transactions. The all 100 transactions now have been broken into who made what. These are their customers. You can decide to arrange the customers from customer 1 to any number of customers they have. It's not even arranging well. Okay, I think it's based on the sorting. We can get that result, but it's actually a very simple thing to know to visualize data. You can decide to leave this, well, we might not want to leave this on the table, because the truth is that if you are given an executive view, all this now, just like I mentioned earlier, will not be useful to Dangote. He only needs what is happening. So we want to give him a broader view. He doesn't need the information of his customers. So we take it off and do something more executive. Oh, the product name. They might have products in categories. How did they turn up to sales? Product name and sales on the average sales of each of them. So we might decide to put this on another page. You can create a new page and put that there. It's that easy. That's the truth about. I would not say anything difficult about this. If you practice with it very well, there is nothing so difficult when it comes to visualizing data. Here is it. Average sales by product name. You might write it here. When you double click this, it responds to you. Give it, space it out, product name. On the advanced level, we'll be discussing two tips. And things get a lot sweeter when it comes to visualization. We can even check their sales over time and even forecast what will happen. Now let's look at it. On this page, let's look at their sales over time. Total sales and over time. Date hierarchy. Their sales was throughout in 2023, no other year. When you drill it down, we have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. When you drill it further, we have January to December. But I won't be using bar chart. I'll be using line chart. Now see their sales over time. They had a higher sales in June and July. These are what Dangote will be interested in. For example, if it's the one we are presenting to, he will only be able to know the best time of the year to put his money to invest more. You know that September is not a good time for him. Based on the total sales in September, we can see that they only made 4,530.37. Someone wants to join, right? I think someone wants to join. I missed the person. So just like I was saying, based on his sales, he knows that the best time to invest into the business is July, because this already tells him the story about his business. And tell me if you won't be happy with your visualization. So based on this, on an advanced level, in the past few visualizations we'll be doing, I've only been working on this and this. If you should come to this part, you can see that it says add further analysis to your visuals. That is on the advanced level, which is actually crucial to your job role. You will be needing it if you will be using things like forecasting. If I click on this now and just look at what can I do with this data, look at their percentile line, look at their median line, then I don't want to bore you with this environment, but the truth is that during your researches, or if you are trying to upgrade or upskill yourself, you will definitely need it. So there are so many things we can do with this. You can turn on the data labels, just like I said. You can see you don't have to hover on the maps right now. It's now telling you what has happened over the time. So making this visual look sweet, how do we get it done? We can either do it by arranging one by one ourselves, or creating a proper visual by giving it a good background that we arrange our visuals into. How do we do that? Or how do I do that personally? I do it by using, I design a background at PowerPoint. Now, let me take you there and show you what I usually do in PowerPoint. Let me present my PowerPoint environment. Okay. Say this is PowerPoint. Please, if you have a question, keep dropping it in the message section. I will read everything. I won't like anyone not to, be part of what we are doing. Okay. So I'll be doing a blank presentation here. Control M. So you give yourself a blank environment, because the truth is that the Power BI environment does not allow so many formatting, especially when it comes to cosmetics. So the cosmetic part, many people, not only me, many people do it in PowerPoint, because it's also a Microsoft environment that conforms well with every other Microsoft platform. And you can import stores from PowerPoint, use it in Word. You can import stores on PowerPoint, take it to Excel. You can even export it as a picture. So PowerPoint is actually very powerful, that experts have now taken to using it for their custom visuals in Power BI. So this environment, I would like to create a visual for myself in Power BI. How do I start? You can come to, let's say you want to insert something where okay, let's say I want to insert those cards here. You can see I created shapes. Let me start again. Come to insert shapes, and I selected this shape with some rounded corners, and I just put it this way. Okay, let's say this size. Just say Control C, or let me first of all give it a shape I want. Oh, nice. There are so many colors here. Okay, you might decide to use another design if this design is not cool for you. Some people might like something a bit colorful. Let me just use something like a bit dull. Okay, so you go to insert shapes, and this should give me something. Insert this shape. Okay, I think this is okay, but it's still too sharp. So that's one thing about color matter. It gives us so many options that we start thinking, is this okay? Is this okay? Let me just select this color. This mature. Okay. So I select this, I put it in this corner because the header will be here. So I put it in this corner and I Control D. When you press Control D, it duplicates. Control D again. You can see it becoming better than what we did initially. How many visuals do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we have 4. I'll be giving it and spacing it out. You see, Power BI will give you the number of length. If you are over spacing, it will tell you the space here is similar to this, and here is also similar to this. They all have the same space. If you see, if I try to space it, it's telling me this is equal to this and this. So I think this is also okay this way. Okay, I think this is cool. So I might be giving it another design that says, let me just insert something else. So this is a title. Okay, so I'm also changing the color to this. I might give you something a bit. You might even change the gradient of the color. It's possible. So when you come to shape format or you double click it, you should see design, format background. So I might format this background myself. Come to format, click on this, come to gradient. So many things can be done. When you just play around with it, you become more creative with what you have. Look at this now. I've been able to get this out. I might decide to change these ones to that type, where I give it a gradient that is in the middle, or they call it radiant. Okay, radial here too. What's going on? Why is this one not changing to radial? Okay, this. Oh, I think I see what happened. This has a gradient stop here, and this one does not have. I decide to change the color. With some radial here to this is very possible, but to make it uniform, let's not disturb ourselves. Let's just copy this and duplicate it. Control D, put it here. Control D, P. That's all. So they are now uniform. We have a good background for that. So we can decide, okay, we still have how many visuals more? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we might want to create another one of this type. You might even just click on this and duplicate it and just expand it because it's already in this size and this shape. Just expand it, put it here. Yeah. Any color based on your inspiration. There is nothing written on stones that you must do it this way. Okay, so it's just based on discretion and your critical thinking skills. So we need one for sales by month, which has very long view. So we go back to the Power BI environment, and you see we have this. Control D. Okay, put this for that total sales by category. So if you want to consider that, to expand this a little, put that here. Okay, we look for that total quantity by category. Might just expand it a little. Control D for this. Put it here. Put it here. Good. And we might also want to add the slicer. Might put it here. Yes. So we might just add the slicer here and the quantity by category here. Can unlock it here. It's looking like a great design by a professional, whereas it's just PowerPoint. Now we have this. We can decide to import it at this level. We just adjust it and make it look sweet. Good. So to have this in Power BI, let's save it as a picture. That's all. It's that simple. You just click on one and click on Control A. Right click, save as picture. And it opens a window, which you are not seeing right now. You just open a window. Let me just save it in desktop. Let me just save it in desktop as a PNG format file. I've saved it. Now it's saved. Now let's go back to Power BI and bring it in. I'll have to present the Power BI environment again. Now we are back to our rough environment where we have the data all littered there. You want to arrange it now in order. So let's have the page. This is the page here, and we want to bring in the new visuals, the new background you have done. How do we do that? When you come to this environment, make sure you're not clicking anything here. When you come to this environment, it allows you to select your canvas background. That's all. You come to image. Since it's a picture, it has opened a window for me, which you are not seeing right now based on the settings of the sharing options. So once I select it, okay, I come to desktop, I save this in desktop, picture one, and the image has been imported. But you are not seeing it because of this setting. By default, the transparency is 100%. So if I reduce this transparency, the minimum, you can see we are already seeing it in the background. But all these guys are covering it, even based on the same setting of transparency. So if I click on this and come to general, the effect, and increase its own transparency, now we can see it here, that we can see our background. The same thing here. If we increase the transparency of everything, we can all see the background. That is the magic behind every great visual you have seen out there in the internet. That is how they got there done. Most of them, that is what they did. Not that, oh, some people will be imagining how they did it. How did they do this in Power BI? Power BI does not have a visual where you can do this is what they did. So now I'll be arranging it. Oh, I can even see that the visual is not looking as we formatted it. And I was expecting somebody would ask questions. The reason is because when we imported it, we did not even change the image fit. Now let's change the image fit to fill. Now we have what we expect. Is it making sense now, guys? Right? So even if I don't get a response yet, I believe your answer should be yes. So we have these guys here. We can rearrange them here. All right. Thank you to Minino for the encouragement. So we have it. Thank you, Dusin. So we have it here, and we can just rearrange these guys. Thank you, everyone. So we can put it here, and it's looking sensible. Here is our visualized data. So we can bring it here. Oh, we decided not to use pie charts. Okay, we might just change this to something else. I just change this to, let's use this. Okay, this is representing the quantity by category well. Okay, and this is the slicer. Oh, I think we even overdid what we're supposed to do, but we can still add more visuals then. Okay, we will be adding visuals now by their locations. All right, so let's look for location. Where is the location environment? Product location sales. Is there anything like location? There's no location in this data. Oh, there's location in this data. Fine, beautiful. So we can add the location by total sales. Location by total sales already reveals that they made the highest sale in Leeds. No, in Manchester rather. Manchester made the highest sale. So now let's convert that into visuals or something like a ribbon chart. You can create a ribbon chart like this. So a ribbon chart will tell us where they made the highest sale. So I can see that it's even smaller. It's bigger than our. Okay. But to make it better, we might use something like a tree map. Yes, a tree map would give us another good view that Manchester is leading and Glasgow is the worst sales environment. Okay, and it will fit into these visuals that we just brought in. And so we'll be able to use this somewhere else. And we might not be able to use tide this time. We might change this to something in slicer setting, change it to drop down. You can just click drop down, select January or whatever. You might use the vertical list where you are just selecting it. The vertical list might make sense. Or we just bring it here. I might have considered that when I was designing the visuals, but it's still making sense. You can turn off the background of this guy so that it flushes with this. Okay. So if we bring this guy here, I want it to fully tell us what is happening. So we might bring this guy here. Now it's looking better. I think at this point, our visualization is looking sensible. We can turn off the color in this. It's also possible so that we just let only the and make it, let's just increase the transparency and change the text color to like blue. Okay, it's looking sensible. It still has a border. Does it still have a border? Yes, it still has a border. So you can still go to style and turn off the border. Only the text we have. So we can just move it up. And here is the visuals for our sales analysis that we started last week. On a basic level though, because if I should go further on this, that will be on an advanced level. We can still do more with this data and do some tooltips. So we can still do more with this data and do some tooltips. You can even do, just like I said, time-based analysis. The time-based analysis might be here instead of anywhere else. Instead of location, we might bring the time-based analysis here and just decide to, so that we can see the entire sales analysis based on time. When I click on line chart, it comes here. All right. So I click on the as their sales per location, or their sales, total sales over the time. Good. So here is telling us their sales between April and October, which is not effective for us. So we can still drill it down or drill it up from January to the end. This is what they have been selling. You can drill down or turn it off. You can take it back. And just like I've said in the formatting, you can go back to the environment and turn off the background. Yeah. So here we have it. And part of the formatting for this is making their title look like this. How do you get that done? So we can edit this and come to general title, change this to something a bit darker, make it bold, and increase it. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with this. And also the labeling, I'll come to visuals, the x-axis, make it brighter. I mean the values. Good. You can do the same for y-axis. Visualization to me is something that is interesting when it comes to design and making it look, the aesthetics part of it, something that is, when you are sure that your data is in order, you just have to ensure that any other parts, you are serving the plate well for your stakeholder, such that when they see it, they say, wow, Mr. So you deserve a raise in salary. So stuff like that would, when they see the jobs you have done, like this category now is looking so small, how do we get it done? Let's look at the way we label it. Okay, just click on it and go to the y-axis title. Let's find the y-axis title. Increase it. I think it will be this. Okay. Increase it. Good. Good. All right. So we have the title, show title only. If you say those title only, no problem. You bold it, put it in bold. You can still increase it. Don't know why it's not increasing it, because it wants this guy to be bigger. I see. Still return it back to that shape because we already edited it, but that is what it's meant for. So we'll come here. We'll do the same for the title of this guy so that it's a bit visible. Yes, we make it bold. Good. Increase it a little. Perfect. So also we increase the size of this guy, make it a little darker. Okay, increase it a little. Good. So we look at this guy. We might also make the visuals so bright, or you might even change the color of how they are being painted so that they attract attention. So you might just mix some other colors to it based on, at this point now we might need to use color hunt to give us a guide so that we don't start, mixing colors that are not actually right. But I think based on my discretion, I might just use something like purple to make it a bit, come out well. And I might increase this to, let me just leave it that way. Okay, so this guy, change it to purple and also make it bolder. Good. This guy, change it to purple, also make it bolder. This guy, change it to purple and make it bolder. All right, so here is the time-based analysis of our data. Does anybody have a question before I move on to the next thing I have in mind? I think one of the questions should be like, this guy should have a data label too. Please ask your question in the comment section, or you can unmute yourself to ask me. Okay, this has a data label too. Please ask your question in the comment section, or you can unmute yourself to ask me the question. Lest I forget, there are other things we can do with it. You can also change the theme. If you go to view, you have a lot of themes available for you. If you click on this now, it changes the entire view, but it still retains your background. This is another thing you can do. When you use these themes, things also change. The not only the colors change, even the font. So themes are also available for you to make your data look enticing. But the main thing is the data should have the right information. Before I continue, does anybody have a question, please? Because this time I would want to analyze the data from start to finish before we call it a day. And if you want a copy of that data I want to analyze, please signify in the comment section so I can send it to you. So that as I'm analyzing the data, you can also be doing the same at your end. Doesn't look like anyone is interested in having the data. So it shows that the class is a bit boring. Let me not bore you guys. Okay, Damilare said you want it. Okay, someone said they also want it. All right, so I now believe that I'm not talking to myself. But first of all, before I continue, let me also make this guy look like he's part of them. So how do I get it done? I want to change the color of the text. The text color, where is the text color? Text. Change this color to this. Yes, it looks beautiful for me. So if you also want this data, I can send it to you now that I've finished job on it. We can visualize this data at your end too, just like as it is. The only thing is you might have to turn off some settings in the data source of the data source so that it points to your own data for analysis. But I assure you that if you open it directly at your end, you'll be able to see this visualization, just like you will not be able to amend the data. So if you want it to, you can also let me know. I can just save it, file, and save, and send it to anybody who requests it. That is Power BI for you. So now we will be having a look at a data I called Messi. So looking at a data I called Messi, a Messi data, we are going to transform it so that you have a good view of data transformation again. And so that when you look at data transformation again, you really understand some of those things we did and the concepts we are aiming at. So it's just like overhauling, and so that you have a glimpse of what exactly we'll be talking about. And it will be like a good thing for those that have not attended the class in the past few sessions. They can at least catch up to some extent. So let's have a look at some Excel data together. Begin our Excel data with exercises, I think. Just have a look at the data. Okay, with exercises, I think. All right, let me show you the data. I would want us to present something else. All right, here's the data. Should be seen an Excel data that saves sales Messi, customer Messi, and product lookup. So we'll quickly have a look at this data and get it resolved. So getting this data resolved entails bringing it into Power BI environment, and we'll be doing that now. So now that I've saved this, I'll be closing this and open Power BI again. Okay, to start a blank report. Present something else. Power BI window. Blank report. Should be seeing a blank report now. Good. So I want us to look into the data I called Messi. It's called beginner Messi Power BI. I just found the data somewhere and I just said, let me try it with you so that you can also actually have a glimpse of what it is to clean data again. Right, so we'll be clicking on either get data. Remember how to bring data into Power BI. So that you click on get data from here, click on the common Excel workbook, or you go to file, you click on get data. Here's it. Okay, good luck raised up his hand. Good luck. Ask your question, please.
Good afternoon. So I was asking if you can share that your Messi data. So as you have,
okay, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
I'll be testing on my. I've already launched the Power BI text. So
okay, so I'm going to share it with you right now. Let me see if I can drag it and drop in this meeting. Okay, I'll send it. this meeting. I'll just see if I can. Okay. I don't think I'm able to stop it in this meeting. I think it's a limitation. Let me just send it to emails.
Okay.
Since your email is what you're connecting with.
Yes.
Possible? No, I don't think I'm able to send to your email as well. Let me just okay. I will drop a link to the data. I will put the data in my drive. And
Okay. I just shared my email. You can.
you don't have to drop your email for privacy reasons. I will just
Okay.
drop the data inside my drive, and I will share the link online so everybody can just go there and download it. Is that okay? Just give me a minute to do that. My drive, software BI training, file upload. And let me use the folder upload. Today is September 27th. Yeah. So I'm going to call it September 27 folder. I'm going to create a new folder. September 27. Okay, so this data is here. Okay, so here is the link to the folder. So once you open this folder, you will find the data. Once you have the data, let me know so that we can start together. And so that once you even have the data, it will be easier for us to brainstorm together and be looking at this data and see what we can do with it. So I give you guys like 5 minutes to download this data and get your Power BI ready so that after this class, we can say you are going home with something more handy. And that should be like you have done 2 projects in this bootcamp. So in the next 5 minutes, let's say by 1:45, I'll be back and we'll continue. So let it just be like a break. Thank you. All right, so good luck has downloaded it. So I believe that other people should too. If they are interested, they will have added it on. So not to waste much time, we can start working on the data. So the first thing you do is what? Get data. So once I click on get data right now, it says Excel workbook. Yes, because it's an Excel file. So I click on it, it takes me to the document I want to bring in. So it has opened a window for me, which I know it has also opened for good luck. So good luck, go to that window and get the data in. Document, feedback, data camp, sample mercy data sales, and sample mercy data. I think I have it now. It's connecting while the data is being previewed, right? So we should have the data preview environment where we can navigate to the sheet we want to transform. So when we click on transform data, remember load is for when you are so sure that your data has been cleaned. So it's going to open a new window called Power Query Editor, which I'm going to share with you again. Although it's a new window, so it's not going to open with the Power BI that has already been opened. So we have to separately open it. But I'm very sure that if you are with us, a new window will have opened for you and you should have it ready. But myself, I'm trying to present the new window to you guys so that you can see the new window. Just allow me some moment. It's still propagating at my end. Okay, so I think it's showing right now. Can we all see this new window that says Power Query Editor Untitled? Please say yes if you are following me or if you are with me. Because by the look of things, we must ensure that we go home with something tangible regarding Power BI data analysis. So here is the data. This data has 100 rows thereabout, and we're going to be getting this data set and ready for visualization. What's the first thing we look into? Do I have the right data? I should ask, do you have this data that I'm looking into? Is this what you have? Good luck. I don't think this is what I gave you. Is this what I gave you? Please check. I need to be sure that this is the right data I'm working on. I don't think this is the data, so sorry about that. Is this what I sent to you? Good luck, please. Okay, I sent you messy sales, right?
Yes. Sorry, you sent me a message, so I'm trying to upload it to the application.
Okay, open this data and let me know if we have the same data, please.
Sorry, mine is looking somewhere. I don't know what I pressed.
Let me know when you're able to open it.
Okay, so the moment I click on okay, so I'm having add data to your report. So I'm saying import data from Excel. So I click on import data from
It's not
Excel.
import, it's get data you click on.
Get data from another source.
Get data Excel workbook. From home, you see get data.
The get data Excel workbook.
Yes. And
So
you
I click on
point
the
you to your
sample menu.
data folder where you select that folder where that data should be.
Okay,
The folder
sample.
should be downloads right now because you just downloaded it.
Yes. So I click on sample messy and I click open.
Okay, the sample messy sales data, right?
Yes.
And it has one sheet.
Yes. So about the navigator.
I just want to be sure that we have the same data.
Okay, so if I click on this, click on transform data.
So you should now have a table that contains these columns that says order ID, order date, product, category, region, sales rep, and let's say sales amount, quantity.
Yes.
Good. So now we want to get this data cleaned. How? First of all, let's look at this order date. Let's ensure it's in date type, date data type. We have standardized that in date data type. Another thing we look into is when we look around this data, you can see that it's a bit scanty at this quantity environment. So some are written in this to anyone who wrote to they wrote it in words. So it's one of those things we have to fix. And you can even see the quantity is in ABC, but don't change the data type yet. Let's change because if you change the data type now, it will bring some errors in this because already this is not a whole number data type and data type is saying ABC. So if we change the data type now to whole number, you will see that this will change to error. Can you see? So I want us to experience the error so that we can see what will happen if we change it. Now let's return it to, you can just close that or cancel that by clicking on the apply steps. And you now continue by doing what? Replace the values. Replace 2 with 2. How? Come to replace values and let's type 2. You will see a small window is out already, but you cannot see it on the screen here. If you are with us, you will have the window already to replace 2. When you right click and click on replace values, you change 2 to 2. You can see that my 2 has changed to 2. The 2 in words have changed to 2 in figures. Also, I noticed that some wrote 03, 09, 05. Just take one of them and change it to, let's say, replace 03, change it with 3. Click OK. Now, there is nothing like words. We only have null. Anywhere we get null, I'm changing it to 0 so that we just have the standardized once and for all. Null means nothing happened. or we don't have value for it. Okay, so to get this right, we cannot change everything for this. But what do we do to this data that is having O? I just think what I should do here is, because I'm also seeing this data, just jot it down for the first time. So I'll also look into this data now and see if we can just create a new column and come to custom columns. Column from examples. Tell it that whenever you have O4, write 4. Can you see what happened? If you notice, anywhere you see 0 in front of a figure, they should just write the figure for me. And that is what happened. You can see that anywhere there is 8, 08, it changed to 8. Anywhere there was 09, it changed to 9. Anywhere there is 05, it changed to 5. That is the essence of using column from example. I set an example for the system, and the system followed it. Now, when I click on OK, I now have that. But the data type is not correct. Now, let's change it to quantity, fixed. This is data cleaning proper. I think the quantity fixed needs a Q. Good. And this guy is no more useful. We are sending it out by removing it. This is what we have. Let's change the data type to whole number. Now we have the right quantity. But to avoid the confusion, we can just go to view and turn off the column profiling so that whenever we click on it, we have it as whole. Now the quantity column is clean. You can drag it here if you want, because it's where we had it before. Or change it again to quantity because we have deleted the quantity that might be conflicting the column header. Have you cleaned your own table like this? Have you cleaned that quantity column? Let me know if you were able to do it or if you need help. You can also share your screen with me. Do you know that?
Still having on my own. So I've been able to change the from 0 4 and also to
okay. Should I stop sharing my screen so that you can share yours?
Okay.
All right. So I will tell you what to do step by step, and we might be using your data for the rest of today. Do you mind doing that?
No problem.
So I will stop presenting and you can share your screen. We are waiting for you to share your screen.
I'm doing that now.
Good, thank you. So you shared your whole screen and we're able to see everything. That's beautiful. So let me just see if I can expand my screen so I can see your screen very well. Good. So
okay,
just
so
instructions now. You're going to learn the data.
Can you see my screen?
What did you say?
Hello?
I can hear you. What did you say, please? Can you repeat that?
Okay, so the null, I'll be able to create another column using the column from example.
Before you created another column, you should have fixed the null.
Oh, okay.
But you can still fix it. Right click on quantity fixed.
Okay.
And replace the values of null to 0. Perfect.
Okay.
Now discard the old quantity. Let's check the sales amount.
Yes.
Are there anything null there? Change any null to 0. Change the name of that table itself to sales data. How do you change it? You remember we taught you either you change the properties in the query settings or you change it in the queries in the left side of the screen. Just double click that sheet 1. Yes. Change it to sales data. Good. Let's ensure that we have the right amount, data type. This quantity is not in the right data type. Change the right data type to what it should be. I believe you should know right now. No. The right way to do it is to click on that 1.2. Make it whole number. Thank you. The sales amount is a currency, right?
Yes.
You can put it on fixed decimal number. Right? Is it looking good? But there's something we have not done. We have not checked for duplicates. Do you know that there may be duplicates in this data? Let's do it in a way that
Yes, in the product.
no multiple transactions is showing. For instance, check the order ID. Says remove duplicates. Right click on the order ID. Remove duplicates. First of all, before you click on it, cancel what you just did in the applied steps. Before you did that, to be sure that if something actually happened, check your column, your table statistics. What does the table statistics say? That's not where to check it. Move your mouse to the bottom part of your screen by your left. By your left, bottom side. That is your table statistics. 8 columns, 100 row.
Okay.
So that when any changes happen to your column, you can know
Yeah.
if something has missed. So if you remove duplicates, if it's reduced, that means some duplicates were removed. Do you understand me now?
Yes, sir.
Now go to order ID and remove duplicates. Let's see if any duplicate was removed. So no duplicates. But you cannot afford to remove duplicate in sales rep because you know that a sales rep can sell more than once to many customers. You know that?
Yes.
Yes. So we cannot check for duplicate in that. We cannot also check duplicate for product because they have products might have be sold more than once to other people. So we are just leaving it as it is. And it looks like this data is clean already.
Okay. Can we continue from your own screen or somebody else can?
No problem. That means I will have to complete my own visualization too, my own data cleansing too. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
window. Okay. Thank you for your time. So I would, what were the things we did at your end? We changed this to fixed decimal number. Also changed null to 0. I think I did that. Replace values null to 0. It's 2 p.m., but we are rounding up some guys. Don't worry. I just want us to go with something tangible. So you can, once I'm done with modeling the data, you can go and visualize it and make it your homework. So you can just send it to me when you are done. You can reach out to me through the WhatsApp chat and let me see what you have visualized from this data. So let's just round up by completing this part and the modeling part. And this region is in the right way. Okay, quantity is okay. And I think another thing we did was we changed this to sales data, right? I think we also checked there was no duplicate in the other ID column. So now we are going to click on File, Close and Apply. So it's going to load into a model, and the model part is going to show us. Okay. Now it has been loaded into the model, and that is why we have the sales data here. Remember, it was on the left side, but now it's on the right side. It was queries. Now it's called data. Now that we have it as data, all we just have to do is maybe we should add a date table in the model view so that we can have a date to work with. How do we get that done? Just like I taught in the previous class, let's just do a quick date table, the calendar auto format. Just click on new table and change it to dates. Calendar auto, close bracket. That's all. The date table is ready. All right, so let's go ahead and mark it as date table. Oh, it's saying there is no base date. Why is it saying there is no base date? Let's check our data. Is our date format in order? Let me go back to transform data and check.
Other dates are not in the right way.
Yes, I can see the other date is in 1, 2, 3. Let me show you what happened. The reason why we had that error is because we forgot to put the we did not finish our transformation. That's just the summary. And other date is showing 1, 2, 3. We change it to dates. I'm trying to show you this, but I don't know why this guy is not allowing me to show it yet. I will still show it to you. Please allow me some moment. It's not showing you. Well, have you been able to check your transform data to go back to transformation and edit your other dates?
I can't. It's not because I did close and apply, but it's not allowing me to go back. It's just giving me error.
Always go back. Share your screen. I will show you how to do it. I'm unable to share my own Power Query editor now. I don't know why.
Yeah, so you're saying there are pending changes in your query that have not been applied, so I can't even go back to that
Yeah,
transform
to go
data.
back to it, that is what I wanted to show you.
Okay,
Just
okay, let me
share
see.
your screen. When you share your screen, so somebody said I will not including data hierarchy like year month. Yeah, because we are doing I'm answering this question to Damilare because we are trying to create a data table on an auto format. We might not just do it one by one because I'm trying to work with time, but it's actually going to work because it's going to work with the base date, and that is why it's asking us for base date, right? So now to do that, why is this thing giving us a recurring something? Just
Okay,
click.
sorry. Can you stop sharing so I can share my screen?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing. Okay, I should stop sharing. Okay, you share your screen. It's still giving us that. Maybe this will bring something. Let me just fix the issue here since it's not allowing me to share it to you guys yet. So let me just
Okay.
change it to date. Once you change the data type to date, it gets fixed. The issue will be fixed. So I've fixed that, and you will see how it will change right now. You can see that the error has cleared because I fixed that issue. The error is now clear. The date table is now showing well. So if I open the date table, this is it. But one thing I just have to do with the date table is I still have to inform the system that it's a date table. How do I do that? When you click on right click and you go to mark as date table. So when you mark it as date table, you turn it on. You come here, you click as date column and click on OK. It is now a date table. So once I have it here, I just create a relationship between here and here. And it makes the relationship active when I click on save. And now we have it together. They are joined together. That is a date table joining your data. So if I go to visualization or report now, I can now start visualizing. So if I say the order, the sales data order date, and I put it on the date in this, and you'll be seeing that everything happened in 2022. So now you can just create a sales data against the date table. And how do we get that done? We can just go to sales. Let's look at the date table here. We have it done. So we just put out the sales amount. These are what they sold by those days. So if you create a line chart for it, the date table will reveal what has happened over the months, even though it's not consistent, but you can see the data. So I don't want to be the one to visualize the data. You can go visualize it as your homework. Just grid yourself, do it at your own leisure, but ensure that you are able to get something out of this data because there is a lot this data has to offer you. Is there any question before we call it a day? Remember, I'm still at your beck and call. You can just reach out to me through the WhatsApp environment and I will respond to you. Is that okay? Thank you so much for your time. We have spent more than 2 hours on this class, but I'm happy I was able to deliver my my promises, especially regarding starting another data and getting it ready for you guys. Does anybody have any question? You're welcome. Good luck. It's all right. So thank you. I will make the recording available. If you want it, you can always visit it. All right. You said you will ask if you have any issue. No problem. I'm always at your service. Thank you so much for your time. And this ends the cohort. Goodbye. You're welcome to me, you're welcome to sing. And regards to everyone, right?